Alright, Chiefs roll into Arizona riding a 3-game winning streak after losing their first 2, while the Cardinals at 0-5 still looking for their first win of the year, and this would be a wild one, folks. Opening drive, 3rd and 12, Carson Palmer with good protection is going to find Bryce Butler for a gain of 20 and a first down near midfield. 3 plays later, again 3rd down, and Palmer is going to this time find John Brown over the middle for a gain of 12 to push Arizona across midfield. Then next play, Carson Palmer dropping back again after the play fake and finds a wide open Adam Humphries for 43 yards and a quick Arizona touchdown. Cardinals lead 7-0. Later in the first, Chiefs in Arizona territory, and on 3rd and 10, Mahomes is going to find Travis Kelce over the middle for 20 yards and a Chiefs first down. Then on 3rd down again, it's Mahomes with the play fake and again finding Kelce over the middle, who doesn't get in but does pick up the first down, setting up a 1st and goal. The next play, it's Kareem Hunt with the carry and pinballs his way into the end zone for his 5th touchdown of the year. Chiefs tie it at 7. Second quarter now, still tied at 7, and the Cardinals looking to get their workhorse going as David Johnson will take it up the middle for 15 yards and a first down. 2 plays later, it's going to be Johnson again up the middle, this time for 14 yards and another first down near midfield. Next play, Johnson once again up the middle, this time for 8 yards near the first down marker. 4 plays later on 3rd down, it's the Cardinals converting once again as Palmer hits a diving Jermaine Gresham over the middle, gain of 9 and an Arizona first down. 3 plays later again on 3rd down, but this time, as he's been doing all year, it's going to be Justin Houston getting into the backfield and taking down Carson Palmer for the sack, forcing an Arizona field goal. First play of the next drive, Chiefs waste no time as Mahomes with a play fake rolls to his right and finds Albert Wilson, who turns it up the sideline and takes it 72 yards before Tyrann Mathieu takes him down at the 1-yard line. Next play, it's the Sherman tank, Anthony Sherman, blasting his way up the middle for his first carry, first yard, and first touchdown of the season. Chiefs lead 14-10. Ensuing drive, Carson Palmer with an absolutely ridiculous amount of time to throw. He waits and waits and waits before finally launching one downfield to Adam Humphries, who's coming back to the ball and makes the catch, but as he turns upfield, he's hit by Terrence Mitchell. The ball comes out and is recovered by Kansas City. Chiefs take over at their own 21-yard line. So with 1:02 to go, it's Mahomes finding Kelce, who gets out of bounds after a gain of 13 yards. Next play, it's Mahomes to Wilson on the curl for 14 yards. Chiefs forced to use their first timeout. 2 plays later, it's Mahomes hitting Kareem Hunt out of the backfield for 13 yards. Chiefs use their second timeout. Next play, Mahomes again to Hunt, this time for 10 yards and another first down, but he doesn't get out of bounds, so the Chiefs are forced to use their last timeout. Next play, Mahomes with good protection stands tall in the pocket and finds Tyreek Hill for 17 yards, who gets out of bounds at the 10, stopping the clock. And then with 11 seconds left before half, it's Mahomes firing a rocket over the middle to Chris Conley for the 10-yard touchdown to give the Chiefs a 21-10 halftime lead. Opening drive of the second half, it's Mahomes to Conley again, this time for 17 yards on the crosser, giving the Chiefs a first down near midfield. Next play, it's Kareem Hunt picking up 13 yards as the Chiefs move across midfield, looking to possibly put the game away. 2 plays later, Mahomes is going to escape the pocket and pick up 13 yards before heading out of bounds for another Chiefs first down. Then on 2nd down, it's reserve running back Spencer Ware with a lot of room to run, picking up 16 yards, setting up 1st and goal as the Chiefs continue to carve up the Cardinal defense. But then on 3rd and goal from the 13, Mahomes hits Albert Wilson over the middle, who fights his way down to the 1-yard line, creating an interesting decision for Andy Reid, who leaves his offense on the field for 4th and goal. And on 4th down, Mahomes has Travis Kelce wide open for the score, but his pass sails on him out of the end zone, resulting in no points and a turnover on downs. However, on the Cardinals' first play, trying to get a little room, but there would be no room to be had as rookie safety Russ Taplin-Ross stuffs David Johnson in the end zone for the safety. Chiefs lead 23-10. After a Chiefs punt, 2nd and 11, and Carson Palmer is going to play fake and find Jermaine Gresham for a big gain of 35 yards into Chiefs territory to the 30-yard line. 3 plays later, it's 3rd and 16. Chiefs rush 3, leaving Carson Palmer once again with just a ridiculous amount of time in the pocket before he's able to find a diving David Johnson out of the backfield for a gain of 23 yards down to the 14. Again, 3rd down, and this time it's Palmer to Jeremy Curley for a gain of 12, setting up a 1st and goal, but the Chiefs would hold there. Cardinals cut it to 23-13. And for the second time, the Chiefs respond immediately. This time it's Kareem Hunt taking the give off the right side and up the sideline before the Honey Badger is once again forced to chase a Chief down, but not before a gain of 60 yards, setting the Chiefs up in the red zone. Second play of the fourth quarter, and it's Hunt again on the carry up the middle, picking up 10 right to the first down marker. Then on first and goal, Mahomes play fakes, escapes to his left, looks to throw, looks to run, looks to throw again. Everybody's confused, but he's going to take it in from 4 yards out, giving the Chiefs a 30-13 lead and his first rushing touchdown of the year. Next drive, everything continues to go wrong for the Cardinals. Palmer lofts it up for Bryce Butler. The pass is deflected and falls right into the waiting arms of Terrence Mitchell for the Chiefs' first interception of the season, but that's when everything started to turn. After a Chiefs 3-and-out, Dustin Colquitt on to punt it away, but it's the Honey Badger coming in to block the kick. Christian Jones of the Cardinals scoops it up and takes it back for the score. So just like that, it's 30-20. Chiefs go 3-and-out on their next possession, and on the first play following the punt, it's Carson Palmer hitting Adam Humphries for a huge gain of 54 yards as he spins inside and gets to the Chiefs 32. One play later, it's Palmer again, this time finding Bryce Butler over the middle for a gain of 17 and another first down. Chiefs would slow the momentum as on 3rd and 4, it's Justin Houston with his 4th sack of the game, forcing an Arizona field goal, but the Chiefs now lead 30-23. Ensuing drive, Chiefs on 3rd and inches. Kareem Hunt's going to take it up the middle and pick up 11 yards for a Chiefs first down and the opportunity to chew a lot more clock, but wait just a second. Holding is called on Mitch Morse, which forces a 3rd and 11 instead. Then on 3rd and 11, Mahomes and Tyreek Hill not on the same page as the pass is going to sail out of bounds. Chiefs would be forced to punt. Cardinals with a chance to tie. First play, and Carson Palmer finds John Brown laid over the middle for 11 yards and a first down. One play later, it's Palmer hitting David Johnson out of the backfield for 9 yards for another first down just shy of midfield. Out of the 2-minute warning, Palmer's going to hit Adam Humphries for 8 yards, which is just enough for another first down. Cardinals rushing to the line, and Palmer on the money again to Bryce Butler, who keeps his toes in bounds for a gain of 7 to the 35, stopping the clock. Next play, Palmer hits Humphries again on the slant for another 7 yards and another Cardinal first down. Cardinals hurrying it up again. Palmer surveys, steps back, and rockets one towards the sideline, and Luke Wilson dives to make the catch, picking up 22 yards, setting the Cardinals up with a 1st and goal. Cardinals rush to the line one more time. Palmer looks and finds Bryce Butler in the back of the end zone for a 4-yard touchdown, and we are tied at 30 apiece. Next drive, second play for the Chiefs. Mahomes stands in and is able to find Tyreek Hill over the middle, who kicks up 26 yards across midfield and manages to get out of bounds, stopping the clock. Next play, Mahomes again looking is going to escape to his left and try to get out of bounds, gets hit and fumbles. Luckily for the Chiefs, the ball hits out of bounds and they maintain possession. Next play, 2nd and 7, and Kareem Hunt is going to get stuffed at the line, and there's going to be another flag on the play, holding on Parker Anger. Chiefs push back to their own 47. Then on 2nd and 17, Mahomes drops back and floats one deep to reserve tight end Demetrius Harris, who goes up and holds on to the catch, picking up 27 yards and putting the Chiefs well within field goal range. After a run and a Cardinals timeout, Mahomes again gives to Hunt, who picks up 4, but for the 2nd time of the drive and the 3rd time in the 4th quarter, the Chiefs are called for holding, backing them up to the 35. Then on 3rd and 17, Mahomes trying to get some yardage back, nowhere to throw, looks to scramble, but is forced to throw it away, which is going to set up Harrison Butker from 50 yards out, and it is perfect. Cardinals with one last chance to break the controller, but the Hail Mary attempt will fall incomplete, and the Chiefs, after leading by 17 in the 4th quarter, nearly choke away the game to the winless Cardinals, and a game that sees nearly 1,000 yards of total offense ends with the Chiefs coming out with a 33-30 victory as Patrick Mahomes throws for 360 yards, Kareem Hunt goes for over 100 yards for the 2nd time this year, and the Chiefs will head into their bye week at 4-2. Alright guys, so that was definitely an interesting game. I've never been one to accuse the game of cheating, but on All-Madden there are definitely some times like that where things start to get really fishy, but that's a pretty rare occurrence, and in the end we were able to overcome it and come away with the W. We now head into the bye week, which means we've got a lot to cover, so we're just going to get right into that immediately. Week 6 kicked off with the Bears upsetting the Lions 24-13 on Thursday night. Moving to Sunday, the Steelers dropped the Bengals. Patriots get rocked again, this time by the Titans to fall to 1-4. Saints hammer the Bucks. Bills take down the Dolphins. Falcons stay undefeated with the lopsided win over the Ravens. Browns, Packers, and Seahawks all come away with wins. Chargers stay undefeated, dropping the Raiders to 1-5. Eagles take down the hot Vikings. And on Monday night, Jacksonville shuts down Deshaun Watson and the Texans. So as we take a look at the standings, Buffalo has full control of the East as the only team over 500. Cleveland leads the North by a half a game over the Steelers. Jaguars lead the South at 4-2, and Chargers still hold firm control of the West at 5-0, while we sit at 4-2. To the NFC, the Eagles and Cowboys remain tied atop the East at 4-2. Vikings still lead the North despite their loss to Philly. Falcons sit at 5-0, but with not too much room for error, with New Orleans close behind. And then the NFC West continues to be all about the Seahawks and Rams. Taking home the Week 6 AFC Offensive Player of the Week is Titans quarterback Marcus Mariota, who went 24 of 30 for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns, while also adding 1 on the ground, as the Titans destroyed Tom Brady and the Patriots 42-21 to drop them to 1-4. Our very own Justin Houston added 4 more sacks to his ridiculous start to take home this week's AFC Defensive Player of the Week award. Houston recorded 7 tackles, 2 of which were for a loss in our 33-30 win over Arizona. To the NFC side, Alvin Kamara takes home the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award, rushing for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also adding in 4 catches and a receiving touchdown as well in the Saints' 42-13 beatdown of the Bucks. Defensively, it was another member of the NFC South as Falcons linebacker Deion Jones takes home the award. Jones tallied 6 tackles and 2 interceptions, returning 1 for a score, as Atlanta remained undefeated with a lopsided victory over the Ravens. Moving to league leaders, Pat Mahomes added 360 yards to his season total and remains atop the leaderboard. Wentz remains second, while Carson Palmer enters the picture after his big game against us. And then Andy Dalton and rookie Max Enderle round out the list. Matt Ryan continues to lead the way in passing touchdowns as Aaron Rodgers closes in. Blake Bortles throws for 4 touchdowns against the Texans to enter the top 5, while Cam Newton is 5th. With the Rams having the week off, we have our first new rushing leader since week 2 as Ezekiel Elliott takes the number 1 spot over Todd Gurley. Le'Veon Bell, LeGarrette Blount, and Devontae Freeman make up the rest of the top 5. Chris Carson added another touchdown, giving him 10 on the season, and despite the week off, the Rams still feature 2 of the top 5 spots with Gurley and Gillislee, while Rod Smith enters the top 5 after scoring 3 times against the Colts. Tyreek Hill was held to only 3 catches and 54 yards against the Cardinals, but his huge start leaves him still firmly in the lead for receiving yards. Devontae Adams sits at 2nd, while 3rd, 4th, and 5th are only separated by 11 yards between Tyler Eifert, Eli Rogers, and Dez Bryant. Josh Gordon continues to lead the way in receiving touchdowns, with 4 players tied for 2nd with 5 in Allen Robinson, Jimmy Graham, Devontae Adams, and Julian Edelman. To the defensive side of the leaders, Justin Houston is single-handedly going to force a settings adjustment with 14.5 sacks through 6 weeks. Carl Lawson takes 2nd with 10, while Adrian Claiborne, Brandon Graham, and Tack McKinley round out the top 5. As for interceptions, Jalen Ramsey picked off Deshaun Watson twice to tie him for the league lead with Cam Chancellor and Jason Verrett. Tavon Young and DJ Swearinger are among several tied with 3. So as we look forward to the schedule for Week 7, the Lions play on Thursday night for the 2nd consecutive week as they travel to Dallas. The Colts head to Washington. Pittsburgh goes down to Tampa Bay. Big NFC North matchup between the Vikings and Packers. Giants, Titans, Bears, Jets, and Ravens, Saints in interconference matchups. Jaguars host the Bills in a big AFC game. Browns look to hand the Chargers their first loss. Texans travel to face an absolutely desperate Patriot team. And then in the game of the week, the Rams travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in their first matchup. And then on Monday night, another divisional matchup between Atlanta and Carolina. And then Denver, Miami, and Philadelphia join us with the week off. So before I get into the week 7 news, I'll show you guys 2 weeks of scouting that I did first. There was a new draft story involving Brian Ford, who you guys might remember is the top corner in the draft. The story mentioned his on-field inconsistencies, and with that, he's actually dropped to 3rd in the rankings, and his true talent has gone from a 1st to a 2nd. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm going to try something a bit different here, and rather than going through the scouting itself, I'm just going to give you guys a peek at anybody that makes it to my draft board, and I think I'm going to do this moving forward. So our main 2 targets this week were center and middle linebacker. I drafted a center last year, but Mitch Morse, my current center, is a free agent at the end of the year, so I wanted to take a look at those, and I found a couple good ones in Jalen Sanders and Rich Buffelli. As for middle linebacker, I'm looking for another guy to put next to Reggie Ragland, as Derek Johnson is probably going to retire at the end of the year, and if not, he probably won't be on my roster anyway, but we found a couple of good guys there as well. And then lastly, I took a peek at a receiving tight end as a potential number 2 with Travis Kelce. And then one last thing before we get to the around the league for week 7. In the Arizona game, I suffered a couple of injuries, one of which was our guard, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, and he's going to be out for 5 weeks with an upper arm fracture, and then Shelby Harris as well went down with broken ribs. So as you can see, we're now down 2 defensive ends, so a roster move was made, and that roster move was the release of left tackle Dylan Gordon, and he was replaced with a signing from the Oakland Raiders practice squad in left end Paul Olsen, who is a rookie and was taken in the 5th round by Oakland. Replacing Duvernay-Tardif is going to be rookie Patrick Heath, who was an undrafted free agent that we signed in preseason, and then replacing Shelby Harris is going to once again be Scott Crichton. So we're a little weak up front this week, and hopefully that doesn't end up hurting us. But moving into Week 7's action, starting with around the league scores, where the Lions took down Dallas on Thursday night, Colts over Washington 24-17, Steelers blast the Bucs 38-7, Packers take a wild game in Green Bay where 95 points were scored, and they win over the Vikings 50-45. Both New York teams lose as the Titans and Bears beat the Giants and Jets. Saints and Jaguars handle the Ravens and Bills. Browns fight hard, but the Chargers stay undefeated with a 31-24 win. Bengals drop the Raiders to 1-6. Cardinals get their first dub of the year over the 49ers. Patriots finally get back on track against the Texans. Seahawks win a huge NFC West game, taking down the Rams 24-21 at home. And then to cap off the week, Atlanta takes down Carolina on Monday night. So as we take a look at the standings after 7 weeks, the Bills, Steelers, Jaguars, and Chargers all hold sole control of their divisions, with the Colts and Chiefs currently holding the wild cards. To the NFC side, the Cowboys' loss puts the idle Eagles in first place. The NFC North is anybody's game right now, with the Lions and Packers tied at 4-3, and the Vikings and Bears both tied at 3-3-1. Falcons move to 6-0, while the Saints trail by a game and a half. And then, as mentioned, Seattle wins a huge game over the Rams to move to 6-0-1, while the Rams fall to 4-2. Tom Brady takes home Week 7's Offensive Player of the Week award with his 4-touchdown, 370-yard performance to help lead the Patriots over the Texans by the score of 39-31. Onto the defensive side, it was Charger cornerback Trevor Williams who was responsible for 2 turnovers in the Chargers' 31-24 win over the Browns, as he picked off Browns rookie Lane Laribus and also forced and recovered a fumble. To the NFC side, Aaron Rodgers becomes a member of the 500 club, throwing for 514 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Vikings, while also adding a rushing touchdown to help the Packers to that wild 50-45 win over Minnesota. And somehow that game also managed to produce this week's Defensive Player of the Week in Packers safety Morgan Burnett, who managed 8 tackles, a sack, an interception, and a pass defensed in a game where neither defense seemed to show up. As we move to the league leaders, Aaron Rodgers' huge day propels him to first in passing yards, while Andy Dalton and Max Enderle pass up Mahomes, who had the week off. Matthew Stafford rounds out the top 5. Aaron Rodgers also takes the lead in passing touchdowns on the year now with 18 and a 1 TD lead over Matt Ryan. Max Enderle, Blake Bortles, and the immortal Tom Brady make up the rest of the top 5. Le'Veon Bell is the new leading rusher after 7 weeks, taking the top spot from Ezekiel Elliott, who falls to 3rd. Todd Gurley is 2nd with 641 yards, while Devontae Freeman and Leonard Fournette sit at 4th and 5th. Chris Carson continues to lead the league in rushing touchdowns at 10, while a slew of backs that include Jeremy Hill, Leonard Fournette, Alvin Kamara, and Mike Gillislee are closing in with 7 rushing touchdowns apiece. Devontae Adams had 190 yards receiving on 12 catches to move within 3 yards of our Tyreek Hill for the league lead. Des Bryant sits at third with 584 yards, while Quincy Enunwa and Eli Rogers round out the top 5. Adams also moves into a tie with Josh Gordon for the league lead in receiving touchdowns with 7, while Jimmy Graham trails by 1 with 6, and Allen Robinson and Julian Edelman both trail by 2. The Week 7 sack leaders look very much like Week 6, with the only change being Cameron Jordan taking Brandon Graham's spot in 4th. Justin Houston still leads with Carl Lawson, Adrian Claiborne, and Tack McKinley all trailing behind. And then after 7 weeks, the interception leaders all remain unchanged, with Jason Verrett, Cam Chancellor, and Jalen Ramsey tied at the top with 4, and Tavon Young and DJ Swearinger among many tied for second with 3. And then finally, as we take a look at Week 8, it kicks off on Thursday night with an AFC North matchup between the Browns and Steelers. Another divisional matchup kicks off Sunday with the Cowboys and Redskins, Jags, Dolphins, and an all-Florida matchup. 49ers travel to Minnesota, Tampa Bay at Carolina, Denver comes to KC as we face the Broncos for the second and final time of the year, Jets at Texans, Bears at Packers in a big NFC North matchup, Patriots look to claw their way back into the division hosting Buffalo, Rams and Chargers in the Battle of LA, Titans, Colts in an AFC South matchup, and then a pair of big NFC games round out the week with Atlanta traveling to Philly on Sunday night and Seattle traveling to New Orleans on Monday night. And then 4 1-6 teams with the week off as Arizona, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Detroit, Oakland, and the New York Giants all have bye weeks. That's going to do it here, though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and are continuing to enjoy this franchise series. Join me next video as we host Denver and look to extend our winning streak to 5 games and go for the season sweep of the Broncos. But until then, thanks for watching.